What's going on, YouTube? What's going on, family? It's Dr. Delatorro. I hope and pray you're doing wonderfully well on today. Listen, I am pumped. I am excited. I'm delighted. I'm honored that you've joined me for this incredible session, and we're going to have a powerful time. So listen, make sure you fire off in the comments. Let me know where you are tuning in from. Get your sandwich, get your bagel, get your beverage ready. We're going to have an awesome conversation on today. So listen, welcome to Motivational Monday, y'all. I'm pumped. I'm excited. And I'm ready for this powerful session. We're in shifting to a higher gear, better your best, and live life to the fullest. We are in chapter 5. Love this book, love this content, love this concept, and I'm really excited about taking it to the next level with you guys. So let's rock and roll, y'all. Let's do this thing like Brutus, because we always knew this. All right, listen, I'm pumped. I want to hear where you guys are from, so make sure you chime in and let me know where you're going in, where you're coming in from. Sorry for being a few minutes late. I had some technical difficulties. YouTube did not want to allow me into the studio to actually record. So, but nothing is going to keep me from getting this content to you. So I had to restart my computer and get on, but I'm here now. So yay, that's all that matters. So type in, let me know where you're coming in from, and we're going to rock and roll, have a great time. If you got the book, fantastic. Join me in chapter 5 so we can talk about it. If you don't have the book, what are you waiting for? Jump in, get a copy of this, shift into a higher gear. We're going to rock and roll. We're in chapter 5, shift from excuses to powerful declarations. Why? Because, my friend, you cannot ride with the kickstand down. Such a powerful concept, and I want to talk about it today. So I'm going to flip over to chapter 5 with you right now. And here it is. This is what it looks like. You'll see a nice little kickstand graphic there on the book. If you don't have the book, make sure you grab a copy of this book. If you have the book and it's been changing your life, have you left us an Amazon review yet? Have you left us an Audible review yet? You've been listening to me in your eardrum, but you have not left us an Audible review to let us know what you think. Please make sure you do so. Alicia, I see you all the way from New York in the building. Jeff, God bless you. Yes, it's on Amazon. Jeff, hook it up. Ebony, God bless you. Laura, I see you. Clara, I see you. What's up? Gina in the building. Precious, I see you. God bless you. You guys, make sure you share this broadcast. Let a bunch of other folks know we are in the building. We are live on Motivational Monday, and I'm pumped. I'm excited. Listen, I hope this is the start of a great week for you. I really do. And I believe it's going to be an incredible week. Last week was absolutely mind-boggling for me. I'm telling you, so much amazing stuff happened in our business and our brand last week. I'm telling you, it was just unbelievable, right? Like literally, if God called July, December, I mean, I'm done. Everything else that happens this year is total gravy for me. Literally. I mean, it's been such an incredible year for our business and our brand already that if God decided to call July, December, I'm already done. Everything else that happens the rest of this year is total gravy. So, and for those of y'all who do not know, I will give you a quick update and announcement. Over the last couple of days, we were inducted into the Speakers Hall of Fame. We were inducted into the National Speakers Association Speaker Hall of Fame, which is a lifetime achievement. For the rest of my life, I will be considered a Hall of Fame speaker, which puts me in the top less than 1% of paid speakers all over planet Earth. Not Florida, not the United States. It puts me in the top less than 1% of paid professional speakers all over the entire world. And so I'm so very grateful for that honor and that recognition. And I'm really pumped and excited. You guys should see tons of pictures all over social about how incredible of a time that we had. Just check out our Instagram, check out our Facebook, check out our LinkedIn. You'll see it. Absolutely incredible. I'm still on cloud nine. I'm still processing everything that took place, y'all, because we did a 20-year anniversary celebration. We did a gala right afterwards, which was like the Tonight Show caliber gala. It was unbelievably incredible. Had some of my dearest friends from all over planet Earth in the same room at the same time. And it was really remarkable. And so I'm so grateful to my team, Gina and Ebony and RC and Mo and Sunny and my entire staff that just helps me to pull off the work that we do each and every day in this industry to do what we do. So y'all, I just wanted to share that with you guys. So thank you for the well wishes. I'm pumped and excited. Listen, let me say this to you. There's no way that we could make it to 20 years in this industry making a ton of excuses. And what I want to say to you is, at the end of the day, if you really are ready to take your life and your business to the next level, you got to stop making excuses. Now, write this down. An excuse is defined as an elaborate justification for why we do not act on our goals and dreams, right? An elaborate justification. Now, Brian Tracy is the first person that I read that definition from. And here's what I like about that definition. An elaborate justification means that you put some time and energy into thinking about how you can word and language something in such a way that it allows you to justify not going after something that you really want. Now, we all make excuses. Fire off in the comments if you've ever made an excuse before. Come on. I mean, just go ahead. Everybody, let's just own it. Have we ever made an excuse? Every one of us have made excuses. And you guys know how these lives work. I want you to participate. I want you to interact with me. So I want to see this chat going on fire right now. We've all made excuses, right? And I think it's so vitally important that we understand that an excuse is defined as an elaborate justification for why we have not gone after our goals and dreams and taking some necessary action towards something that we want or we say that we desire, right? So we each make excuses and we all have these lies we tell ourselves about why we can't have what it is that we want in our life. Now, one of the first things I say in the book is that an excuse, right, is a kickstand. Now, let's define what that is. Jeff said, I'm guilty, right? Jerry said, I'm totally guilty, right? We're all guilty, right? Yolanda, that's what I'm talking about, right? So here's the truth, right? If you've ever seen a motorcycle, you'll notice that every motorcycle comes with a kickstand. But if you think about it, the only purpose of a kickstand is to support a motorcycle when a motorcycle is not in use. I'm going to say that again. The only purpose of a kickstand is to support a motorcycle when a motorcycle is not in use. Okay, so let's back that up again. If you've ever seen a motorcycle in motion, if you notice, whenever you see a motorcycle going down the interstate, the motorcycle never has the kickstand down while it's in motion. Because if the motorcycle's in motion, it doesn't need the kickstand. The only time it needs the kickstand is when it's not in use. I'm gonna say that a little bit slower. The only time the motorcycle needs the kickstand is when the motorcycle itself is not in use, which means this: the only time you need an excuse is when your life is not in use, when your business is not in use, when your goals and dreams are not in use, when your aspirations are not in use, when your money is not in use, when your body is not in use, when your relationship is not in use. Whatever you make an excuse about, if you use the kickstand, you don't need the thing. So you don't need to grow your money because you're using excuses as to why you can't make more money. You don't really need the relationship because you're making excuses as to why you don't need it. You don't need your body to be healthy. Why? Because you're making excuses as to why you don't need to keep your body healthy, right? And we all do it. There's zero judgment in this. I make excuses all the time. And so we all do it. None of us are, listen, you can be in the Hall of Fame, you can have $1 million business, you can do all and still make excuses, right? So we all have some area of our life where we just kill it. And we have other areas of our life, we'll talk about that in a different chapter of the book, where we're not killing it so much, right? And so I talk about that in another chapter of the book where I say we have to stay in drive and shift into drive and avoid the other gears of mediocrity, right? We'll get to that later. But my point is, every single one of us have certain areas of our life where we're killing it and certain areas of life where we struggle. And we have to embrace the duality of that, right? If we're going to go to the next level. Now, I want you to understand something powerful. When we use the excuse, we get to prop up the motorcycle of our life in business, and the motorcycle of our life in business is not in use. But there's a reason why we use excuses. And part of the reason why we use excuses is because of something called secondary gain in psychology. Now, secondary gain in psychology is, write this down for me, y'all. Write this down. This is so good. And if you got a journal, great. If you don't, just type it in the comments here. Secondary gain is some perceived advantage that we gain from remaining in a disadvantaged position. I'm going to say that slower. Secondary gain is defined as some perceived, circle that word, advantage gained from remaining in a disadvantaged position. What? How many of y'all have ever known people who stay in bad relationships way too long? Right? How many of y'all have ever known people who stay in bad jobs way too long? How many of us know people who stay in a really, really uncomfortable position in life for way too long? A super uncomfortable socioeconomic status for way too long. Secondary gain is some perceived advantage. Now, that perceived advantage could be anything like increased attention, disability benefits, a release from unpleasant work or chores or obligations or responsibility, right? It could be any of those things, right? So, how many of y'all know people who sometimes stay sick longer than they should, right? And we see this with kids sometimes, right? If your kid stays home from school because they're sick on day one, and they get all the extra attention. They get to watch all their shows. You cook them all their food, et cetera, et cetera. By day 2 and 3, even though their symptoms are gone, they still like to act like they're sick, right? Because they're getting all of this secondary gain. They're getting benefits from remaining in a disadvantaged position, right? For example, some people would say that our welfare system in our country is a secondary gain because people receive a benefit, some perceived benefit. You're getting money from the government that you technically don't have to work for remaining in a disadvantaged position, for remaining in a socioeconomic position where you can't get much more. You can't have much more than this. You can't be better than this. You can't earn more than this. In other words, they put a cap on your earning potential. They put a cap on your achievement potential to give you crumbs. It's quiet now. Come on, somebody. Talk to me up in here. Now, I'm not talking about those who absolutely positively need it. But even if you need it, you should only need it for a temporary amount of time. But I'm talking about people who remain in that disadvantaged position for decades. Does that make sense? So some people would say that our welfare system is a form of secondary gain because it's watch this. It's a perceived advantage from remaining in a disadvantaged position. So, for example, the woman who stays in an abusive relationship because her husband is popular or famous, so she gets access, she gets accolades, she gets the status, right? Right. So sometimes we stay in those disadvantaged positions for the secondary gain of the status. So I'll put up with the abuse because I have the status, I have the money, I have the clouts, I have the massages, I have the trips, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or we could stay in a we could stay in a bad position and the person's not physically abusing us, but they're just toxic towards us. And we put up with the toxicity because they're good arm candy. They look great. Or they can get us into rooms that we couldn't get into ourselves. Or they can open up doors for us that we couldn't open up for ourselves, right? Y'all being quiet today, but the truth is, y'all, every one of us have those secondary gains, some perceived advantage that we get out of remaining in a disadvantaged position. What about this? What about if you're in a girlfriend circle? I'm just going to use this for example, right? Sometimes women and men do this as well. We remain in disadvantaged positions because we get all the coaching, we get all the counseling, we get all the support, we get all the coddling, all the attention shows up to us because we tend to pick bad relationships. We constantly are taken advantage of by people. We this, we that, we the other. Can anybody relate to what I'm saying? Come on, Tammy. Y'all see what I'm saying, right? So here's the truth, y'all. We have to be careful. So you have to ask yourself a question. What secondary gain do I get out of remaining in this disadvantaged position? What benefit, what side benefit, talk about side chicks, right? What side benefit am I getting out of being in this disadvantaged position in my life? Right? What extra is coming to me that I don't even realize? Because y'all, sometimes secondary gain can be unconscious. Sometimes you might not even be fully aware of what it is that you're getting. That's why I'm asking you to now make the unconscious conscious. I'm asking now for the unconscious to be conscious. I'm asking now for the unconscious to be conscious. I'm asking that what you don't know to now be what you do know. Does that make sense? And I'm doing that very intentionally to help you understand that the scales need to come off of your eyes so that way you can see clearly. Does that make sense? So you got to come to yourself and say, I deserve better than this. I want better than this. I expect better than this. And because of that, I got to show up different than this. Is this making sense to everybody? Anybody? Come on, right? So we got to say, okay, what advantage am I getting from remaining in this disadvantaged position? And watch this, y'all. Self loathing, complaining, constantly beating yourself up. You can become addicted to all that stuff. If you're not careful, you'll become addicted to your own sob story. And then you'll condition all your friends around you to accept your sob story as well. So I can have a sob story and say, oh, because I'm a single father, there's so many things I can't do. Or because I'm a single mom, there's so many things I can't do. Or because I was raised in this environment and I didn't have a biological mother figure, or because my parents passed away, or because my folks divorced when I was younger, or because of fill in the blank. Whatever you're because of, that's your secondary gain. That's that thing that you're holding on to. That's the story that you're telling yourself that's causing you to perform below your potential. Ooh, who am I talking to? If I'm talking to you, go ahead and type in the comments, say you're talking to me, Doc. Just go ahead and say in the comments, say you're talking to me, Doc. Just go ahead and say in the comments, you're talking to me, Doc. Come on, somebody. So whatever that, because of whatever that thing is that you say, okay, well, because of this right here, and we can all point to something. And I'm not saying that the thing that you point to is not valid. Please understand this. Who am I helping today? Where's my clapper? You could be totally valid to point to that as a cause as to why you have not been able to do what it is that you want to do. I'm not saying that that's not it. You could be correctly diagnosing and saying, you know what? This caused a setback in my life, in my personal life. This caused a setback in my business. This caused a setback in my relationship. This caused a setback in my physical body. This caused a setback in my nutrition and wellness, in my vitality, in my well-being, right? This caused a setback in my taxes. This caused a setback in my accounting and budgeting. I'm not disagreeing with you that those things did not cause said things. But remember this for the rest of your life. Life is only 10% of what happens to you. It's 90% what you do about what happens to you. That's where the word responsibility comes from. The word responsibility comes from our ability, slow down the word, to control or dictate our response. So life, come on, right? Life handing us various situations and circumstances, that's 10, maybe 20% max. I'll give you 20. I'm gonna give you the 80-20 rule. I'm gonna give you the Pareto principle that life is 20% what happens to you, 80% what you do about it. Because Dr. Maya Angelou already told on all of us. And what Dr. Maya Angelou said was, there are people who came before you with less than you, who've gone further than you, faster than you. I'm gonna say that again. Dr. Maya Angelou told me this in person, and it changed my life. She said, baby, never, never, ever, 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 like, dummy down yourself. Don't play small. She said, because there are people who came before you. Your ancestors came before you with less than you and have gone further than you, faster than you. So if our foremothers and our forefathers came before us with less resources, no internet, no social media, and went further than us, faster than us, no Bitcoin, no cryptocurrency, no stock market, how can people who came before us with less than us go further than us, faster than us? We have no excuse. So we got to get rid of the excuses. We got to get rid of the elaborate justifications as to why we cannot have what it is that we want in our life and our business. And some of the popular excuses, right? We know, right? I'm too old. I'm too young to start. I'm not talented enough. I'm not connected enough. I don't know enough of the right people. I'm not rich enough. I'm not motivated enough. I don't have enough of the right resources. I don't have the right degree. No one's going to help me. No one's going to believe in me. No one's going to buy my concept. No one's going to buy my material. They're all excuses, right? And I coach speakers and authors all the time. And one of the things that when I coach authors, I say most authors don't have a writer's block issue. Most authors have a belief issue. And my students ask me, they say, Dr. Delatorro, what do you mean by that? I say this. I said, listen, how fast would you get that book written if you knew that 1 million people would buy it? They're like, oh, I would finish it in 2 weeks. Okay, cool. So the problem, Linda, God bless you. I see you joining us from South Africa. Whoop, whoop. So the problem, Linda, is not your ability to write. The problem is not your creative ability. The problem is not your ability to put together sentences. Your problem is not the ability for you to outline your book. The problem is not your ability to come up with your characters. The problem is not your ability to come up with the content and the concepts and the metaphors and analogies. The problem is none of that. The problem is your belief. Because if you believe, and this, you could apply this to anything. You could apply this to absolutely anything. If you believed that 500 people would buy your online course the day you finish filming it, you would film that course faster. If you believed that 1,000 people were ready to buy your book the day it comes out, you would write that book faster. If you knew that 700 people were ready to join your new business venture as soon as you launched it, you would go ahead and get it off the ground. The problem is not talent, ability, or skill. The problem is belief, right? And y'all have heard me say this all the time. I said it on the Today Show multiple times. I say it in keynotes all the time. Faith, okay, and doubt. So take your finger and point it up. Faith and doubt. Faith and doubt. Do it with me. Faith and doubt. Faith and doubt. Faith and doubt take the same thing. Faith and doubt take the exact same thing. Belief. Faith is belief in an outcome you want. So if you think about it, when you have faith in something, so I just hosted my 20-year anniversary gala in Orlando. It was a lot to plan. My team did a phenomenal job. Mad kudos to everybody. Faith is believing in an outcome that I want. I want the room to be packed. I want it to be full of people that I love. I want it to go off flawlessly without a hitch. I want it to be incredible. I want it to be amazing. Faith is belief in an outcome I want. Doubt is nothing but a belief in an outcome that I don't even want. What if nobody shows up? What if people don't pay to come? What if people don't participate? What if it gets rained out? What if people don't adjust their flight plan to come hang out with us? What if this? What if that? Doubt is nothing but a strongly held belief in an outcome you don't even desire. Can I get some hearts on that one? That's ridiculous, y'all. Can you, it's hard to breathe right now. Are you catching what I'm saying? They're like, Dr. Delatorro, are your nails manicured? Yes, they are. Faith and doubt take the same thing, belief. So the problem is your BS. Your BS is your biggest problem. Your BS. Your BS is what's stopping you from whatever it is you want to go after. And your BS is not bullish. Your BS is simply your belief system. Somebody type that in the comments for me. Your BS is your belief system. Okay? And one of the things that I love that Jim Rohn says is, he says, if you want something, you'll find a way. If you don't want something, you'll find an excuse. I'm going to say it again. If you want something, you'll find a way. If you don't want something, you'll find an excuse. You'll reach for an elaborate justification as to why you can't have it. If you want something, you'll find a way. If you don't want something, you'll find an excuse. Okay? Because I want to be a lifelong role model for my daughters, I find a way to be the best dad I possibly can be. I'm their first boyfriend, right? So I don't make excuses. I show up when I say I'm going to show up. I surprise them. I treat them well. I teach them what chivalry looks like. I teach them what dates look like. We go out and do fun things all the time. We do educational things all the time, right? Why? Because I realize that I'm their first boyfriend. I realize that the standard that I'm setting for these girls is not just for them. It's for how they're going to raise their kids and how their kids are going to raise their kids. So I'm setting a generational set of things in motion. Does that make sense? So we got to make a decision, y'all. Are we gonna make a way, or are we gonna make an excuse? It's up to us. Are we gonna find a way, or are we gonna find an excuse? Because whatever you reach for, you will find. Does that make sense? So let's talk about this a little bit deeper. One one of the things I firmly believe is that there is absolutely positively, um, I'm gonna take a couple of questions in a minute. So get your questions ready, y'all. Get your questions ready, and I'll take them in a few minutes. Probably about 5 minutes, I'll start taking questions. So get your questions ready because on Motivational Monday, I do end by answering questions. So get your questions ready. All right. Now, I firmly believe this, y'all. There is no St. John dress, there is no investment account, there is no Armani suit, there is no vacation, there is no mansion, there is no yacht more expensive than the excuses that we make about why we can't have what we want. And so I really believe it's important, y'all, um, that we become very intentional. Thanks, Laura. I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Tammy. Um, we got to become hyper intentional about really making sure that we don't pay the ultimate price. See, because understand this, everybody pays. Put that in the comments for me. Everybody pays. Whether you realize it or not, everybody pays. So for example, let's say that there's a seminar that's coming in town. Like for example, I have Crush the Stage coming up. Crush the Stage is my 3-day speaker training program that's coming up at the end of August. And um, there's an investment to come to learn from me for 3 days because I'm one of the best in the world at what I do. And I was one of the best in the world at what I do before I got into the Hall of Fame. Footnote. Okay. That's just an outward representation or an acknowledgement of something that we've already been doing. Does that make sense? So keep that in mind. Now, there's an investment to come to Crush the Stage. And so sometimes, and the reason why I know so much about excuses is because I see people make excuses every day all the time. And it's funny to me. It's comical internally to me. Because the truth is everybody pays. Well, Dr. Delatorro, what do you mean? So I ask people all the time, how many of you guys would love to go out and speak to groups and organizations and companies and businesses and have people fly you places, pay for your hotel, pay for your flight, all this stuff to go to these amazing places and you speak, you share your story, you share your hardship, you share all the things that life is, how life has done you XYZ way, and you get a chance to get a big check to do that. How many of y'all would be cool with that? Everybody's like, hands up. Yeah, awesome. I'd love to speak. I said, how many of y'all would like to get paid to speak? How many of y'all would like $5,000, $10,000 for a 1 hour talk? Yeah, $15,000, $20,000 for a 1 hour talk. Woohoo! I'm in it all day. How many of y'all are willing to invest $15,000, $20,000 to learn how to be able to do said thing? All of a sudden, all the hands go down. Not all, 80%, 90% of the hands go down. I said, hold on, I thought you wanted this so bad. Like, yeah, I did until I realized that there was a cost in order to learn it. So, okay, cool. So your problem is the cost, the tuition that it takes to learn how to become a professional speaker. You don't want to pay that. You're like, yeah, okay, got it, cool. So let me ask you a question. Did you make $200,000 a year last year speaking? Did you make 200 grand last year speaking? And 100% of the people that I ask this question to say, no, I didn't make $200,000 a year. I said, cool. So do you realize that since you didn't make $200,000 last year speaking, you paid life $200,000 because you didn't know how to make $200,000? I'll wait for you. You paid life an ignorance tax of $200,000 last year because you didn't know how to go out and generate $200,000 last year. Right? Did you make $300,000 speaking last year? They said, well, if I didn't make 200, I didn't make 300. Exactly. Cool. So you paid an ignorance tax of $300,000 because you didn't know how to make $300,000 speaking. Did you make $500,000 last year? And I could do this to the person, the whole. So what's the truth? Everybody pays. Either you pay to learn or you pay not knowing. Can I get some hearts? Come on, somebody. Come on. Is this making sense? Come on, somebody. Come on. I mean, the chat should be exploding right now. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Either you pay the tuition to learn or you pay not knowing. The problem is the paying to not know is costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. I ask this question all the time. When people enroll to come to Crush the Stage or any of my programs, and I'll put the website up here if you're interested, those of y'all who hear us talking about it. The website is crushthestage.com. The dates are August the 28th through the 30th. And I ask people this question all the time. I say, listen, if you don't pay to learn, you can't charge to earn. It's that simple, right? As long as there's day, there's night. The law of polarity says that there's two sides to every coin. So if that's like wanting to be, I want to make Olivia Pope, metaphorically scandal. I want to make Olivia Pope money, but I don't want to pay to go to law school to learn what she learned. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't work that way. If you aren't willing to invest to learn, you'll never be able to charge to earn. It's that simple. And if it's too much to invest, it's also too much to generate. That's why you should never say something is too expensive. Tammy's like, are you coming for my soul today? Y'all, y'all see Tammy? Right? Leona's like, ouch. I'm going to say it again. If it's too much to invest, it's also too much to generate. The same brain that says $15,000, $20,000 is too much to invest is the same brain that repels $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 opportunities from coming to you. You can't say something is too much without seeing both sides to the too much coin. When you say it's too much and you put up a hand and say, no, I'm not coming to the training because it costs too much. When you put that hand up to say it's too much, the same hand that says it's too much to invest, the flip side of that same coin is it's too much to generate. So you push back the opportunity. I want y'all to see the metaphor. You're pushing it back and you're paying. Either you're going to pay to learn or you're going to pay to be ignorant. And I don't mean ignorant in a harsh sense. I mean, you pay the cost of not knowing. You're simply paying the cost of not knowing. Scripture says, if a man or woman lacks knowledge in anything, let him ask God for it, and God will give it to that person liberally and without reproach. Okay? What does that mean? That means instead of saying it's too much, I can't afford it, the better question is, how can I afford it? In other words, the better statement is, I can afford anything I put my heart to. I serve a God that's an abundant God, so anything I want and desire, I already have it. Can I teach you a quick lesson that Bishop Jakes taught me that helped me get rid of excuses, especially when it comes to money and finances and things that I want to be able to afford to do? Um, he said this. He said, use your faith in the right direction. And this changed my life. He said, use your faith in the right direction. Somebody type in the comments for me. Use your faith in the right direction. Well, Dr. Delatorro, what do you mean by that? I'm so glad you asked. He said, instead of having enough faith, instead of looking at something like tuition and saying, man, that's expensive, I'm believing God for the tuition to come down, which is what we tend to do, right? We tend to look at something that we want. Let's say it's a fancy trip and the trip costs $5,000. You say, oh Lord, let me pray and believe God for that 5,000 to come down to 2,000. And if that 5,000 can come down to 2,000, man, we got a deal. You're using your faith to believe for the price of something to come down. Okay? Now, if we're using our faith to believe for the price of something to come down, yeah, I can now afford the cruise because it went from 5,000 to 2,000, right? But here's the problem. La Rochelle, I think I'm saying that right. I hope I'm saying it right. Here's the problem with using all your energy of your faith to believe for the price to go down. When you believe for the price of something to go down, it's a one-time transaction. So if I want something and I say, okay, man, how can I come to Crush the Stage, but I don't want to pay the money that it costs to go to Crush the Stage because I don't believe enough in myself, and I also don't believe enough in the value of what Dr. Delatorro is going to teach me, right? But the problem is not the course, the problem is not the content, the problem is not the 3 days, and the problem is not me. If you knew that there were 10 organizations who were ready to pay you $10,000 on the other side of you attending Crush the Stage, wouldn't you attend? You would find the money. Why? Because your belief shifts. The only reason why you wouldn't invest to come to crush the stage is because somewhere in your mind you don't believe that people are going to hire you, people are going to pay you, you'll be in demand, people will want you, etc., etc., etc. It's 100% in your belief. Whatever you believe is what you made up. I'm gonna wait for you to shout on that one. I'm gonna say that again. Whatever you believe, you made up. If you think that people won't pay you, you made that up in your head. If you believe that there's 25 corporations that as soon as you learn how to do what you know how to do on stage, that will pay you $10,000, $15,000, guess what? You made that up too. Whatever you believe, you've made up. So make up a good story. But for God's sake, believe. So Bishop Jake said, use your faith. Someone said earlier that you look like Bishop T.D. Jakes. I hear that a lot. Um, use your faith in the right direction. Well, Dr. Del Toro, what do you mean by that? Instead of you believing for the cruise to come down $3,000, why don't you believe for your income to go up $25,000? So now, instead of, see, if your income goes up 25,000 versus you putting all that energy into believing for that one-time transaction to go down by 3,000, Bishop Jake says use your faith in the right direction. So if I'm gonna put belief in something, let me put belief in waiting for my income to go up. So now when my income goes up 25,000 for the year, or 50,000 for the year, or 100,000 for the year, or 300,000 for the year, or 2 million for the year, if I believe for my income to go up, woo, instead of believing for that price to come down, now that's transformational. Because now I can afford the cruise and I can afford 25 other things I want as well. So, friends, we have to use our faith in the right direction. Does that make sense, Nina? One of the greatest pieces of advice that Les Brown ever gave me, he's a great mentor, great personal friend. One of the greatest pieces of advice that Les Brown gave me was he said this. He said, you don't know enough about your future to be that negative. He said, when you're thinking about turning down something, an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to scale, an opportunity to next level yourself, you don't know enough about your future to be that negative. In other words, what he says, what he means by that is this: you don't know enough about the future doors that are going to open on your behalf when you say yes to this one thing to say no to it. Because when you say no to it, you're saying no to that door and 25 other doors that were automatically going to open. He says, you don't know enough about your future to be that negative. Am I helping somebody? So some of you all need to you really, as you're watching this right now, and you know that you've been following my brand for a while, you know that you want to become a speaker, you know you want to take it to the next level. Guys, you got to come to this August training. This August training that I've got coming up is the cheapest you'll ever get this training ever in your life. After my August class, that price to come to my training is going to almost double. Okay. So you want to come to the August class. If you're serious about attending Crush the Stage and me mentoring you and coaching you and developing your public speaking and presentation skills, you've got to come to that August training. Because now that we've been inducted into the Hall of Fame and all these other amazing things have happened, guess what? All my prices are going up. Everything's going up. Does that make sense? So, and this is a 20-year journey. I've been working on the Hall of Fame for 20 years. I've been working on being the best of the best for 20 years. So, this class date that we picked, you bet. I was just talking to one of my students. He just texted me a few minutes ago, earlier today, and he said, listen, I just had my first 5-figure product sales day from a keynote that I did. So he made 5 figures from speaking, and then he made another 5 figures from product sales. I'm gonna wait for y'all. I'm gonna wait for y'all. I'm gonna wait for y'all. Did y'all hear that? No, it's live in person, Linda. It's live in person. You got to show up. I got to see you in person. Crush the Stage is live in person. The website is crushthestage.com. And we also have financing options available. So that goes to the next point. So before you attempt to make an excuse, say, instead of saying, I can't afford it, You have to shift. So let me finish the lesson. So you got to shift over from excuses to powerful declarations, because a declaration is replaces the excuse. The declaration uses what we call in psychology cognitive reframing to find the good in the challenge. So instead of saying I'm too old, what you say is my past experience allows me to start smarter. Instead of saying I don't have enough money, you say, listen, my current bank account is letting me know that multiple streams of income is my best next step to financial freedom. If you say I don't have enough friends in my life, instead of using that as an excuse, you say, guess what? New amazing people are being attracted to my tribe and my inner circle every day, and I'm excited about it. Change from excuses to powerful declarations. Okay. Hey, Linda, all the information about the Crush the Stage is on the website. Go to crushthestage.com. Everything is there. Crushthestage.com. Everything is there. Okay, everybody who wants more information about Crush the Stage, please visit the website. I'll put in the chat one more time. It's crushthestage.com. Okay, it's right there in the chat. All right, so check this out. We have to shift over from excuses to powerful declarations, right? And we have to reframe it. So instead of saying, I can't afford it, you say, okay, great. How can I afford it? See, when you say, I can't afford something, your brain immediately shuts off. But the moment you say, how can I afford it? Your brain comes up with answers. So as soon as you say, what are 10 ways that I can afford the tuition to come to Crush the Stage? Your brain is going to come up with 10 ways. If you ask your brain a question, it will give you an answer. Write that down for me, family. It's important that you understand this. If you ask your brain a question, it's going to give you an answer. Okay. Linda, I'm so honored that you're in South Africa. We've had people come all the way from Portugal. We've had people come from China. We've had people come from all over the world to come to Crush the Stage in person. So we'd love to have you. Okay. If you ask your brain a question, it will give you an answer. Okay. It's so important that you understand that. So you have to ask your brain a good question. So how can I afford it? How can I make this work? How can this happen for me? Give me 5 ways that I can achieve my dream in spite of my situation. Give me 7 ways that I can grow my income in spite of my circumstance. If you ask your brain a question, it will give you an answer. Okay. So you want to learn to ask your brain good questions. Because if you ask your brain a good question, it'll give you a good answer. If you ask your brain a bad question, why am I so stupid? Why am I so dumb? Why does this always happen to me? You're going to get a bad answer. Your brain will answer whatever question you ask it. So you ask your brain better questions. And also anticipate the outcome you want. Man, I'm just going to go back to Crush Stage, for example. Man, I can't wait to learn everything that I need to know to become a powerful transformational speaker on stage so that companies will pay me $15,000 a speech, right? I can't wait to become the best of the best of the best of the world so that way people can interview me all over the world based on my book and my books can become bestsellers and my books can outlive me, right? Speak positive affirmations and declarations so that you can live the life that you really desire. Okay. And some of you all right now, your greatest challenge is your belief in yourself. You have to heal your belief in you, right? And situations, circumstances, relationships, all kinds of things tend to taint our belief in ourselves, right? And so, what I want every one of you all to do who have not already done this, if you have not taken our free mini course online, it's called Healing with Integrity. I want to encourage you all to go and sign up for that program. It is absolutely free and it's absolutely awesome. And it's going to help you heal your belief in you. Because here's the truth: relationships, friendships, romantic partnerships, all, the people that are closest to us determine our belief and they build our belief in us or they shatter our belief in us. Does that make sense? And so I firmly believe that it's those relationships that tend to help us or hurt us. So for those of y'all who have not already, thank you so much, Jerry, for saying how powerful it is. I appreciate that. Who have not already gone through our free mini course, go to healingwithintegrity.com. It's absolutely free and subscribe to our online course. It's going to help you so much. It's going to help you process some of the pain that you've gone through in your life so that you can believe in yourself more. When you believe in you more, you'll make investments in yourself more. But when you don't believe in yourself enough, see, the question is not, is Crush the Stage worth it? The question is, are you worth it? Do you believe enough in yourself to say, I'm worth it? Does that make sense? I know that I'm a good bet. I know that I'm a great investment because I know when I invest in myself, I'm going to make 10, 15, 40, 60 times whatever I invested in that thing. And when I read a $20 book, I'm going to make $10,000 off of a $20 book. If I go to a $200 seminar, I'm going to make $25,000 off of what I learned at that seminar. If I invest $25,000 to go to a boot camp or training or coaching or mentoring, I'm going to turn that $25,000 into $500,000 in revenue. I'm a good bet. I bet on me all the time. Does that make sense? And you have to learn how to be a good investment. You got to learn how to bet on you more. We bet on stock markets. We bet on real estate. We bet on cryptocurrency. We bet on all this stuff. Are you a good bet on yourself? Because you got to believe in you or nobody else will. Just like, am I the only guy healing with integrity? Because all I see is women here. I love that, Jeff. That's hilarious. Listen, y'all, our time is coming to a quick close, but I want to answer any. If you have a question, if you have a burning question, please let me know. And listen, Jerry, I saw you say that you thought that the mini course was powerful. I need you to shoot us a quick little 1-minute video. Let us know how powerful it was, and send that email to us so that way we can feature you on Instagram. Anybody who's already gone through the Healing with Integrity course, we just want you to shoot us a quick 1-minute video letting us know how much the course is meant to you, and we will feature it on our Instagram page, okay? Really, really important stuff. So Precious asked the question, how do you know what to do? Your expertise, your gift, your pursuit, okay? So how do you know what to do? That's a purpose question. How do you know what to do? I know that God put me on this earth to speak. I know that that's what I'm called to do, right? I know that I'm called to impact people with the power of words, right? So I focus on that. I understand my purpose. So you got to get clear about what your purpose is, right? You got to believe enough in yourself to know what your purpose is. Is your purpose fashion? Is your purpose cooking? Is it culinary? Is your purpose ministry? Is your purpose nonprofit? Is your purpose in the transportation industry? Is your purpose in the educational industry? Is your purpose in the motivational speaking industry, right? You got to know where you're supposed to be. And that's a process of really discovering and uncovering what God's put you on this earth to do. Does that make sense? And so getting clear on whatever it is that God's called you to do and really going after that thing and really leaning into that thing is really where the greatness is born. Does that make sense? So listen, y'all, I hope you've enjoyed Motivational Monday. We've gone a little bit longer than we normally do, but we started a few minutes later. Listen, join us every single Monday, this same time, y'all. And let's rock out. Tell 10 people so they can join you next Monday as well. We went 47 minutes. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you got great value. If you have not gone to Healing with Integrity, please make sure you go to Healing with Integrity, subscribe for free. If you know that I'm your teacher, because I believe that when the student is ready, the teacher shows up. If you know that I'm your Mr. Miyagi, if you know that I'm the person that's meant to cultivate your next level as it pertains to speaking and coaching and training and developing your gift and talent from the platform, go to crushthestage.com, register for our upcoming August class. We'd love to work with you. We'd love to serve you in a much greater way and take you to the next level. If you need to reach out to any of our team members, please do so. Gina's right there. Ebony's right there to help you and take you to the next level. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for the thank yous. That means a lot to me. I appreciate you all so much for tuning in, dialing in, tapping in. And please share this broadcast even after we end it. Please share the broadcast with other people so that you can help them to get rid of their excuses and step into transformation. Okay. I think it's so vitally important, y'all, that we learn how to do this and do it with a level of excellence. You're welcome, Yolanda, Nina, Laura, Jeff. Appreciate you, Ebony, Gina, the whole crew. And we look forward to Precious, Jerry. I see you guys, Linda, all you guys. Marianne, appreciate you so much. All right. Thank you. She said, I heard about you on the Dear Future Wifey. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you heard us on Dear Future Wifey, you definitely got to go to healingwithintegrity.com for the next part of that conversation. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Precious. I appreciate you. All right, you guys. We'll look forward to catching up with you guys soon. Talk later.